Hello everyone, my name is Brennan Whitaker, but you probably know us from my channel. And in the past, I've talked a lot about, LGBT stuff, and now I promise this will be the last time I go in depth with it. So just please don't go away. Please don't unsub. This will have some ground to it, I promise. Now, I did a little experiment on Discord with an art server I've been following for around about 2 months regarding kids 13 to 17 to see if I was right on my little theory. And it's a theory about how impressionable kids are. Like, obviously, they're impressionable, but what I mean by that is how impressionable they are in terms of creativity. If a child is more creative, they will be a lot more open to, say, LGBT stuff. And now, I went with this theory. It took me 2 months, and I think I have the answer. The answer is yes, they are very impressionable and very open to this stuff, especially when they're more creative and more imaginative. Now, I have a lot of examples. These are the accounts of the people, the minors. Don't worry, it's all private. I made it as private as I can possibly make it, but still have their info there. Now, all of these will say, non-binary, they, them, because no, they're impressionable. It's a bunch of kids who have a very big imagination, and they're joining this art server. Now, all the private information has been covered up by a picture of J.J. Abrams' face. So, if anything is leaked, it's simply because J.J. Abrams simply did not work. Now that being said, the first one, it's obviously it's non-binary 13, 15. Now there's several of them. I'll just show them as I go over my theory as best as I can. Now, what I mean by this specifically is now kids, of course, are impressionable, but what we have now, I see, is in Generation Z or the one after it that we do have a lot of kids who have way too much imagination. And when they do this, when they have this, they sort of entertain a lot more ideas than usual. Like, I don't believe that kids in the past would have entertained the stuff as much as, we would, because, things are a lot crazier, Kids want to be artists a lot more. Kids want to be graphic designers, a lot more things nowadays. Because there are a lot more options. You can just be a TikToker and just be a millionaire. Like look at Charlie D'Amelio. I've never watched any of her stuff, but for what people have shown me, yeah, it seems to work enough. So yeah, well, the more opportunities there are, and the more you know realms of creativity, such as this art server, you have a lot more impressionable kids coming there. And from this experiment, yes, you can definitely say that they correlate and probably even intertwine. That a 13, 15, I'm sorry, 13, 14, 15, 16, or 17-year-old, which are kids, you know, even 17-year-old, I'm counting as a kid because it is a child. They're just very impressionable when it comes to this. You know, it's basically just any variety of pronouns. It doesn't even have to be they, them, maybe they, it. It can just be like this one right here. Polygender, xenogender, questioning, but they still have male in their profile. It's just their imagination is wild because they're kids. They don't know any better, and that's why they are in this one. It's not a haven. It's just a server. It's a good one. I'm not gonna say the name of it though because I still respect their privacy. That's why you'll never know whose people are. 13, bisexual, taken, don't have any friends. Well, they probably do. I haven't checked because I haven't been spying on people. Don't worry. This is as far as I will go with this little experiment that I think is a success. We have another one, 16, 17. And they keep coming. Like there's several of these. If I waited another month, I would probably have double of them because the first month, I will admit, not that many came, but then later they came in just droves because I think more people are finding out about this, and so yeah, there might be more out there. It's kids being impressionable, and so I think a good solution for this would be to get rid of the LGBT stuff and just maybe help them exercise this. Like, if there is a way to exercise their creativity without entertaining something that people really do treat as real, because, yeah, it's some people see it as an act, some people see it as a way of trolling people with their, Z, them, zir pronouns. It's just a giant uh, prank on people. They don't really believe it, but there are a lot of people who do believe it, and these kids possibly do. I don't think it's a giant joke that they're all in on. We have one right here. Uh, they them, and then like poetry. It's like it's it's more than a correlation. It's like they're inter. The more creative you are, the more impressionable you are, especially if you're a child. Like it doesn't just go with the minors, and I'll get into that later, but let's just see the more examples that there are, because there are, again, so many that I'm just going to take my time with this. I will ramble on. I will repeat some things just so we can get through it. Like this one right here, it says 14, but they still put 16 to 17. So, oh god, and they have she, they. Like it's interchangeable. It's mix and match. Like there's no actual system to this whole LGBT stuff. There isn't. It's just them using their imagination because that is what they do. They're very creative people. From what I've seen on the server, great art, great ideas, but this it's not okay because you don't need it. It's not necessary, and it makes zero sense. I have talked to people on it, people who aren't minors, because I'm not talking to kids online. That's weird. It's just weird. I don't care. I don't even care if it's like Call of Duty or something. Just no, no, just leave me alone, please. I want to talk to my friends who are older than me and pay taxes. All right, another one. It doesn't have to make sense. It's them using their imagination, and the more creative they are, the more wild they will be. And that's just how it goes. Hurry. They, he, minor. Don't I don't know what I don't know what any of that means because it doesn't mean anything. But yeah, this is what happens. Creativity, uh, a low age, and LGBT collide. You get complete nonsense. It keeps coming in droves. Just a guy, just a little guy, but still, yeah. All right, I guess this leads us to the last thing. So this is a person that I did actually manage to talk to, and as you can see, they are not a minor. They're an adult. I will not say their name, however, because again, I respect their privacy. And yeah, they are very creative. They like doing a lot of RPG stuff, and I talked to him. I'm gonna say it's a he because that's what I'm guessing. I think it's a he. I think he is a he. It's just a better way of saying it. And yeah, he was very creative. I even talked to him and helped him with his like cyberpunk dungeon master thing. I've never done Dungeons and Dragons before, but I am very interested in it. I know a little bit of Warhammer, so I helped him with this because I love cyberpunk also. I love cyberpunk like a lot. So we really went at it with this, and hopefully I can talk to him again. Person who will not be named. And that being said, yeah, it's it's not just for minors, it's also for adults, but this is just an example to show that it can go way back. Like the smaller the age, the harder it will be to get rid of. Like this person, they probably believed it as a child because the LGBT thing, it's been going on for a while now. This person who was 19, so if we did the math, 5 years ago, we'll just lowball it. They were they were 14. Now 14, again, very impressionable, and this person's very creative, so I would guess that they were sort of the same back then. And as you can see, still creative and still into this stuff. So yeah, I think the best thing to do is teach the kids how to separate the two because one is very creative, using imagination, and the other one is focusing on an ideology that makes zero sense and will only get more chaotic the more creative you are because there are no grounds to it. Absolutely. I think that's the best thing to do for creators, future creators, especially in my generation. Now, that being said, speaking of creativity, I have a book out, What Are Real, What Are Real. Look in the description. $8.99 for softcover, $3.99 for ebook. Follow me on Rumble, Odyssey, Minds, or Locals, just in case I ever appear here. And that's it. Hopefully, I can see you next time. And take care.